Good day everyone, this is Miss Jai. Still for this second lesson, it is still all about the types and forms of creative nonfiction. Now previously we discussed about biographical and autobiographical narratives, but here on, let's get to know the various kinds of personal and informal essays. Okay, so in this lesson we will be answering the following questions. First, what is the difference between a personal or informal essay and documented or formal essay? And what are the kinds of personal or informal essays? Let's begin. Now, according to Merriam's Encyclopedia of Literature, the essay is an analytic, interpretative, or critical literary composition usually much shorter and less systematic and formal than a dissertation or a thesis, and usually dealing with its subject from a limited and often personal point of view. The term essay is a derivative of the French word essayer, which means to attempt or to try, and its primary meaning is still used in certain circumstances or instances in English. The essay as a genre can be subdivided into two main categories: the literary, personal or informal essay, and the non-literary, documented or formal essay. So what's the difference between the two? When we say a personal or informal essay, personal essay, it can be described as a relatively independent piece of writing derived from reflection or experience, and since it is based on your perceptions and contains no references, no sources, it is called undocumented essay or simply an essay. And the characteristics that make an essay informal includes the following. The first one is it is the personal element. It has the personal element. It has humor. It is graceful. It uses graceful style. It has a rambling structure. It has freedom from stiffness. Incomplete treatment of the topic. While the documented or formal essay, it has the following qualities. It has a serious purpose. It has a dignity. It has a logical organization. It has length. Furthermore, in the documented essay or research paper, most of the time we use this for research paper, the writer indicates various sources of the concept or ideas he or she borrowed to support the thesis statement and topic sentences. So that's the difference between the two. Now, since our focus for this lesson is all about personal or informal essays, what are the kinds of personal or informal essays? The first one is literary reportage. Now, reportage, it is a form of creative nonfiction that presents verifiable data and well-researched information like a film or a TV documentary. As a written genre, it is a hybrid between responsible journalism and imaginative literature. On the one hand, literary reportage shares with responsible journalism in a way that it pays close attention to socio-cultural reality, past events, and current affairs. Now, when we say responsible journalism, it attempts to analyze the collected data accurately by contextualizing its facts and figures such as historical antecedents and causation, presenting readers with discerningly information for a more enlightened interpretation of world affairs. On the other hand, a literary reportage shares with literature in its dependence on the imaginative presentation, linguistic invention, and personal intervention. Literature does not necessarily deal with hard facts, but with poetic truths and psychological insights. Okay? Now, again, when we say literary reportage, It is a hybrid between responsible journalism, and here is the reason why, and then imaginative literature. Now, literary reportage is also known as a literary journalism, or aside from a hybrid of responsible journalism or literature, it is also known as literary journalism and new journalism, because according to Tom Wolfe, it is a combination of in-depth reporting and literary ambition, and that new journalists wanted to make the nonfiction stories shimmer like a novel with pleasure of detailed realism. And the next one is we have descriptive essay. A descriptive essay is a kind of creative nonfiction whose main intention is to represent the appearance or essence of something. The main rhetorical device or strategy used in descriptive essay is description, or the use of sensory details to portray a place, person, or a thing. Sensory details refer to particular items of information which are perceivable by our 5 human senses, like sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. Carefully selected and properly arranged sensory details can help make a descriptive essay more accurate, authentic, and astonishing. Depending on the intention of the writer and his or her treatment of the subject matter, there are 2 types of description. We have objective description and subjective description. When we say objective description, it portrays the subject matter in direct manner as it exists in reality beyond the realm of personal feelings and emotions. Articles about science and technology make use of objective description, since such writings are pragmatic and utilitarian in nature. It does not involve any personal feelings and emotions, or making little use of speculation or poetic technique and featuring mainly what can be seen, while subjective description, on the other hand, expresses the writer's personal feeling and impression about the subject's matter. Now, since it is expresses using the feeling of and impression about the subject matter, we use that one when we have subjective description to create certain tone, mode, or atmosphere while emphasizing a certain point. And lastly, we have reflective essay. The reflective essay is a kind of personal narrative essay whose main intention is to analyze the significance of a past event through a serious thought or consideration from the vantage point of the present. Now, the writer of the reflective essay combines his or her own subjective experiences and observations with careful assessment and analysis from an objective perspective. Now, the major source when writing a reflective essay is your memory. Remember that. Now, when we say our memories, it is our repository of sensory information, facts and sources and figures that have been accumulated since infancy through personal experiences is from our memory, right? But reflection as a human endeavor is a dying art form, since most people are busy doing other things which they considered more worthwhile than mere musing. Now, even if men and women are supposed to be contemplative by nature and in constant search for meaning of life, now the importance of of reflective essay can be expressed in this way. In an essay based on your personal experiences, you have an opportunity to review your past and then to evaluate it in order to discover its significance to you, and in doing so, you have to reflect or write a reflective essay. Now, and to end this lesson, let us have a sort of a recap. We now know the difference between personal or informal essay and documented or formal essay. We also learned about the kinds of personal essay or informal essays. We have the literary portage, and then the reflective essay, and the other one is divided into two. We have the subjective and objective descriptive essay. So there you go. I guess that's all for our lesson. I hope you learned something from it today about the different kinds of personal or informal essays as a type or form of creative nonfiction. This is your teacher, Teacher Jai. Thank you and see you again.